Darkstar, I see that Gary Player did a radio interview yesterday on the 31st of August with BBC 5. Don't know why he was doing the interview, but I doubt it was about LIV Golf. But in that interview, Gary Player seems to be doing a 180 on his opinion of LIV, but that is not the case. We've got the tape from June, and we will go through that. But what was your initial reaction to what Gary said yesterday?
Well,
yesterday.
Yeah, like everything, the headline ripped was in. It's on every single thing. So I'm expecting the 180, but it just seemed to reiterate his points on the players are free to do what they wish to do. And it's a continuation of the way he feels about LIV and the way he feels about the way professional golf is going. I didn't see a lot of new information or any new information.
I couldn't agree more. In June, he says, I understand they want to make money. It's fine. Okay. And that's not really what he said that, but that when we have the tape, why don't we just let Gary tell us? So we're going to roll the tape, Darkstar. Here we go.
You're obviously a Masters champion. We've just had news in the past few hours that Patrick Reed has signed up to play in the LIV Golf Series. Do you think he'll be allowed to continue playing at Augusta National next year and in the future?
That's something that I really don't know. I don't know what the majors are going to do. And they will be stopped from playing in other PGA events around the world. But you can't have your cake and eat it. You've got to choose from one tour to another. If they so desire to play the LIV Tour, which is their choice and their freedom, and freedom is on the wane around the world today, so they still have the freedom to choose, and we should be grateful for that. But you can't have both tours. You can't do that. It's not going to be allowed. But you can't have your cake and eat it. I mean, the money they're making, the last prize, and I'd like the people that are playing the tour just to be open and say, look, I'm playing this tour because I want to make some money. I have a family. There's no disgrace about that. Every businessman has a choice to say that, whether he gets transferred from one company to another. I'm leaving because I'm making more money. But you can't have your cake and eat it. And don't forget, the best players will always come from the US Tour because that's where all international top players are playing. But remember this, that the LIV Tour does not have a point system that will enable you to keep playing the tours. So I don't know what's going to happen in the majors. If you're not playing in majors or you're not playing the regular tour, where are you going to get your points to give you and qualify you to play in the majors? So this is far more complicated than people make out to be.
Okay, in that interview, as you can see, he is saying that basically that the players that are over there on LIV are not in a great position to have glorious careers on the PGA Tour, winning major, big tournaments. So that's great that they can go make money. Okay, that's fair. Gary's a very fair and good person. Now we don't have the tape from this radio interview yesterday. That TV was in June, and there's reason why it was from St. Andrews, which we'll circle back to because it's not a small thing as part of the story. No, It's a big part of the story. When you dig enough. Max, the producer, doing research. Thank you, Max. Yesterday, though, why, basically, in my humble opinion, Gary is saying, I don't understand. I don't understand why a superstar like Cam Smith, a would-be superstar, on his way to superstardom, is going over there to a tour where you can't play the majors and you don't get any points and that kind of thing.
Yeah, he almost said, "I don't understand. How can you be a champion playing only 54 holes with no cut? What sort of tour is that?" Is almost what he was quoted as saying, and I think he's more frustrated that the reigning Open champ, a tournament that he loves more than any other tournament, would leave for these, basically 54-hole events. And they're really not, in Gary's mind, they're not events. They're just a pageantry for the old washed-up players.
Yeah, exactly. And he said that back in June. He just was more generous with it's okay for LIV to be there. And what he isn't saying in yesterday's comments is that LIV should go away. I don't see that. I don't see him attacking it as evil. I don't see that. I see him simply saying, look, Cam's a major champion. He's 29 years old. And what the heck? Why isn't he doing what I did? Why isn't he going after more majors? Maybe he could win 9 like I did. Maybe he could be a great global representative of the game like I try to be. And I think we might as well stick it in right now, this little ditty that Max the producer dug up on where Gary's coming from, because the story is the story. And, I think he's just, as you said, feeling sad and frustrated about Cam going over. And that was the catalyst to get him to say more about LIV. You ready to roll into the little nugget that we dug up?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay,
Let's
so
go
the little
right
nugget we dug up, audience, is what he's doing. He's in England. He's in the UK and Ireland. Now, if you were paying attention to that clip we rolled, the TV clip, the interview, the original interview, which was June 22nd, what's that, a couple of weeks before the Open, right? 3 weeks. He is in St. Andrews. Well, why would he be in St. Andrews? He lives in West Palm Beach, Florida. Well, we didn't know either, but that's where he was. So what? Oh, the nugget. Gary was paid and hired by HSBC, the formerly Chinese bank, now incorporated in the UK, which is still a Chinese bank, the Hong Kong Shanghai Bank Company, HSBC, to do a goodwill ambassador tour of the UK and Ireland, talking to school kids, city centers, golf clubs, and HSBC branches, because it's important to talk to the branch employees, promoting the 150th Open Championship at St. Andrews. And what better guy to do that than Gary Player? And that's true. A phenomenal champion and a phenomenal guy. So he's over there for a long time doing this goodwill ambassador thing, promoting the heck out of the glorious 150th anniversary of the Open Championship, which I think might be his favorite tournament in the world. We could check that, but you could comment.
He's the greatest international ambassador golf has.
Well, it's his favorite win. Is that fair? I mean, I don't know that Masters, he won 3 times, I think. I don't think so. He loves that too, but I think the Open is the one, because that's the one growing up in South Africa he wanted to win. I think I've heard him say that. In any event, maybe we can find that tape too.
Coming down here with these stands, all these people, and the people on the right, and in the hotels here, everybody cheering. You've won the most coveted trophy in the world, the Open Championship at St. Andrews, the Parliament of Golf. What a thrill. And to know your name is going on the most cherished, respected trophy in golf. And to have won at St. Andrews, what a joy. This wonderful town, these wonderful people, the RNA who do so much for golf around the world.
He's got all this invested. He's personally invested in the Open Championship, particularly this Open Championship. He picks Rory to win before the tournament. Rory's coming down the stretch. He's going to win. He could win. It's great. It's glorious. Gary's there probably watching, right? Probably where they got box seats. And Cam Smith wins. And that's great. Cam's a great kid in Gary's eyes, international player, grew up in Australia, all the things that would inspire Gary to really feel warm feelings about Cam Smith. Then, and he's off to a great career. It's a launch pad. He's going to have a great career. Maybe he'll follow in my footsteps and be a great ambassador when he gets older and all that good stuff. Then, a short time later, Cam leaves. He abandons all those things and goes to LIV. And I think you'd have to say that Gary, the 86-year-old guy, is hurt. He's upset. And what does a hurt 86-year-old guy say? I don't get it. I don't understand why a 29-year-old guy, he mentions that in the comments from the radio show yesterday. I just don't understand why a young kid with the world at his feet, with his whole life ahead of him in golf, does that. He's going to go to a tour that you can't play in the majors potentially because you don't have OWGR points. That's not new information. He already said that back in June. And to Gary, that's just common sense. LIV doesn't get OWGR points right now, and they don't get certain privileges that the PGA Tour is locked up as a monopoly. All facts. All facts. So Gary's point of view hasn't really changed, I don't think. What do you think, Darkstar?
No, that's what I was going to say. So, as we alluded to at the top of the program, no, this is not. This is just a continuation of the way he's felt, but he's hurt and he's lashing out because he doesn't understand what a 29-year-old with unlimited funds really wants. And Cam Smith has certainly said he misses his friends' weddings. He misses going back to Australia. He likes to fish. He likes to get in his cars and go. He's got a lot more to do in his life, and being tied down by the PGA Tour is not one of them. And Cam Smith has flat out said, I'm exempt for 5 years, and he fully expects to play in the majors for the next 5 years. He also alluded to the fact that he's assuming that in the next 5 years, things between LIV Golf and the PGA Tour or who's ever running will be worked out, and they're going to receive points, etc. Obviously a whole nother show. Do they need to go to 72 holes, things like that? But no, the point is but ripped was all I saw, and you sounded like Gary Player did something, a complete 180, and it's a continuation of the way he feels. He's disappointed in Cam Smith, and then let's not forget about the upcoming President's Cup. Gary was obviously involved in the President's Cup intimately.
He was a captain. Great point. It's a great point. So Gary's hurt. He's hurt because he is a great guy. Firsthand knowledge. My dad spent some time with Gary Player as a golf course architect. Gary is. That was the basis of their association. And, he's a solid, really great guy. No surprise to anybody. But he's not coming after LIV, in our opinion. And if he did, that'd be fine. It wouldn't change his status as a great guy. But he's a hurt guy, and that's that. I'm looking over here, and I see. I'd like to sneak in a comment about the upcoming BMW PGA Championship.
Yeah. All right. Well, first, I do want to say that Gary doesn't have any animosity towards LIV or the players. He is very happy that particular set of players is playing in what he considers exhibition events. Doesn't have any qualms with that at all. And I'm sorry. Go ahead. Get to the BMW.
No, that's fair. That's fair. The BMW coming up, BMW PGA is September 8th, 9th, something like that, in England. I believe it's the top tournament on the European Tour. Pretty sure.
Pretty sure it's isn't it Wentworth every year?
That sounds right. That sounds right.
Go ahead.
This year, there will be 19 LIV guys, presumably 19 is the right number, playing in it. The BMW Championship in England this year, PGA Championship, will be, I got $5 on this, Darkstar. Cheeseburger,
yeah.
That it'll be the most watched European Tour tournament ever, probably. I'll say ever. I was going to say in the last 20 years, but it's probably not true. They probably never have had a big television audience, ever. So this will be the number one. Well, aside from the Dubai stuff where they play in the desert, which probably does get a decent audience. This will be the biggest TV audience by far. And, couldn't Rory and the guys on the PGA Tour just take a minute, have a little bit of humility and say, they're not going to come out and say thanks to the LIV guys, but could they just be nice? Could you just drop the blood money baloney and all the other stuff just for a minute? That's all for this video. For Dr. Darkstar and me, thanks for watching. This is a show about finding logical conclusions, and we appreciate you coming along with us. We'll be adding episodes as fast as we can. There's certainly no shortage of things going on in this world.